Hello everyone, so I am live. I just wanted to share a very easy flow into the day kind of yoga flow, mindful movement flow. So if you are keen to do some movement to release some stagnation, inertia, and tension from the mind and body, hop on in. You can play this later as well, as I will be uploading it on my Munala project page and here on my own personal space. So you don't need anything here unless of course you're familiar with your body, and you need some blocks or pile of books as usual, a belt in replacement of a strap. But then again, you don't need any of that. You just show up as you and meet your body where you are. And we're going to start with our child's pose. So let's come and hop on to your mat. You're going to bring your knees as wide as the mat for this one. Point the toes towards the back. Allow the toes to touch. Arms reaches forward, head rested on the mat, and allow the shoulders to rest for now. Elbows heavy on the floor, hips rested down to your heels. It doesn't have to touch. Now, let's arrive in your space with a deep cleansing breath. Inhaling deeply through the nose. Open your mouth out wide, sighing out, releasing. Continue with that kind of cleansing breath. When you're ready to come back into that natural, optimal diaphragmatic breathing, go ahead and take a few rounds of inhales and exhales through the nose. Allow your breath to be deep, even in length and in depth. Allow it to be continuous, without pause in between, smooth without jerkiness, and for now without sound. So sometimes sound is a sign that there's tension or constriction in the throat, nasal cavity, or maybe forcefully expanding the lungs around the chest or belly. For now, we want to show up with a slow release of those tension. Now begin to scan your body as you notice how you're breathing. If there's any held tension, sometimes I do clenching my jaw, biting my teeth. That's for me. See where it is that you might be holding or gripping in your own body. Once you do find them, take a deep breath and send it in that area. And then as you exhale, relax and release, let it go. Now I'm going to start with our breath aligned movement. So if you haven't already, extend your arms forward, spread the fingertips out wide, hands shoulder width distance apart, activating the hands, arms and shoulders down to the torso. Now we inhale, press the hands down, lift the hips, send your sternum away from your navel, modified cow stretch, opening through the chest, shoulders roll back and down. Exhale, press your hands down, curl the toes in, lift the knees off the ground, chest to thighs, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop, knees down, sternum away from your navel, cow stretch, shoulders back and down. Exhale, point the toes back, send your sit bones down to your heels, navel draws in, head falls. Okay, a few more rounds. Inhale, send your sternum forward. Belly towards the floor, arching the back. Cow stretch. Exhale, curl the toes, lift your knees, send your chest to thighs, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees down, cow stretch, sternum away from your navel, shoulders back. Exhale, point the toes back, navel draws in, sit bones down to your heels, head heavy. Inhale, press your hands down, lift the hips, sternum moves away from your navel, shoulders back and down, cow. Exhale, curl the toes. If you haven't already, lift the knees, downward dog, stay in downward facing dog, walk the dog, pedal the feet. Maybe a few rounds of nodding the head, yes, shaking your head, no. And here, if you find that your hamstrings are still tight or legs are still tight and you're causing a rounding in your back, maybe better to bend the knees just a little bit and press your thighs up and back. Sit bones lifting up and back, and your chest is open towards the floor, pressing towards the thighs. Grounding through the hands and feet. Big inhale. Exhale slowly. Now we begin to flow. So once you're ready, shift your weight on your left foot. Right foot floats up, three-legged dog. Option to have your left knee down on three-legged tabletop, okay? So the action for the right thigh is internal rotation. Right toes towards the floor, lifting your right inner thigh towards the ceiling. Exhale, we draw the right knee into your chest, shoulders above the wrist. Squeeze the knee just a little bit higher to your chest, the more release of your exhale out through the nose. Inhale, right leg up again. Exhale, knee to your chest. Tiger curl. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, knee to your chest. And very lightly step your right foot through between the hands. However you get there, just get there safely. Now, we lower down your left knee. Right knee stays above the right ankle. Action from the ground up. Right foot presses down and back, left knee down and forward, as if you're trying to draw the right heel to the knee, knee to the heel. Now, keep that activation, come up. Shoulders above your hips, finding that neutral spinal alignment. So remember, front ribs draw in so that you're not arching the back too much. You draw the front ribs in at the same time you try and lift through the heart, but keep the back of your neck long. This is your low lunge. Now, draw the sit bones towards one another, activating from the pelvic floor, supporting this spinal alignment so that we can breathe deeply. Now, once you have that, go ahead. Choose either arms can extend overhead, pull the shoulders back and down, keeping the collarbones broad. Now, if this is not comfortable, you can bend the elbows on cactus, elbows in line with the shoulders, contract your back muscles at the same time your abdomen. So the core is not just the back muscles or abdomen, it's also involving the glutes, the pelvic floor as well, okay? So now, on your inhale, we extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, extend the front leg, flexing the right foot. Draw the navel into the spine, pull the right hip crease back, sending your heart forward. Inhale. Rebend the right knee above the right ankle, not past, okay? And reach your arms up and overhead, moving with your own breath. And then exhale, frame the right leg. Flexing the right foot, pull the right hip crease back, and navel draws in, head folds. One more. Rebend the right knee, heart lifts, arms reaches up, and exhale, half split. Frame the right leg, flex the right foot. Feel free to bend that right knee. We don't want it locked. We want to use the muscles that support the joints and the bones. So, locking it can sometimes do the opposite of that. Now, we lift the heart again. We bend the right knee. Here, we curl the left toes and move it towards the long edge on the right side of your mat. Come up, opening the right hip. Option 1, keep the right knee bent above the right ankle. Right hand goes on the inner side of your right thigh. Left arm can reach up. Take an inhale. Lengthen through the sides of your body. Sit bones draw in. Exhale. Slide your right hand down by your right inner thigh. Good. So pull the left shoulder back. Your heart spiraling to the ceiling. And release. Come back up. Hands goes on your hips. Now we're going to add a little bit of challenge here. Option 1, keep the right knee bent on the ground above the right ankle. Option 2, extend the right leg forward, gait pose. Flex the right foot. But this time, we're going to have another option. Turn the right toes towards the left side of the room. Press the outer edge of your right foot down. Sit bones drawing in. We're going to add some glute and core side body work. So, again, options are there. You can hold the pose or move along with me. Your choice, your call. Your body is your best teacher. Listen to it. Now, we're going to, first option, left arm up, pull the shoulders back and down. Right hand is resting by your right thigh, but you're not transferring weight towards that right thigh. Now, we come into your gait pose first. Keep the length on both sides of your body. Don't collapse on the right side. Keep that length. So activating this right side of your body. Inhale. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, come back up. Bring the hands interlaced behind you. You're not pushing the head forward. Keeping the hands maybe just an inch away from the head. Pull the shoulders back and down. Inhale first. Exhale, come into your side body stretch, or rather, side plank. With that, the left hand down. Now we add a twist as you deepen the exhale. Bring the chest to face towards the back of the mat and then come back up. Okay, so you're using the right glute here, the core of your body. Inhale up, exhale, side plank, ground through the right foot, twist. And then back, inhale, side body, and twist. And then come back. Release the hands, turn the right toes back up, bend the right knee, frame your right foot, curl the left toes behind your left knee, be mindful as you move things. Right knee stays above the right ankle, left heel presses back and down. This time the left knee is lifted. Keeping that activation on the leg, so your left heel presses back and down, right sit bone pulling back towards the back end of your mat. Right knee stays above the right ankle, draw the inner thighs towards one another, sit bones towards one another. Now, ground through the feet, inhale, come up, high lunge. Now, on high lunge, same goes. Front ribs draw in, lift through the heart, neutral spinal alignment for the breath to move freely because the breath is a very important part of our yoga practice. Big inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Bring the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers. Draw the knuckles down and back, lift through the heart. Big inhale. Exhale, keep the action from the ground up. And as you do that, draw your right hip back, send your sternum forward. Knuckles move away from the hips, adding more stretch in the shoulders and arms. Breathe, soften the face, the jaw, habitual tension in the body. And then release that. Release the hands, bring it up and overhead. High lunge. Exhale, frame the right foot. Lift the hips just a little bit so you can move the right leg back. Three-legged Chaturanga, or skip this part, we'll meet on downward dog, okay? Three-legged Chaturanga, having your right foot extended back, hug the elbows in one straight line, shoulders, hips, and ankles. We lower down with your elbows hugging towards the rib cage. Point the toes back, open through the chest and throat. Either cobra with your belly down, point the toes back, press the tops of your 10 toes down until you feel those kneecaps lifting off the ground. Now, using the back muscles, think about lengthening of the spine than the lift of your heart, okay? So back muscles strong, press the pelvis down to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart off the ground. So you're not using your hands. Obviously, I'm using my hands, but I'm not using it right now because I'm using the back muscles and the core body. And then release. Curl the toes, press up, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Deep breaths. Slow down the exhale. Do what you need here. And we're going to do the other side. So shift the weight on your right foot, lift the left leg up. Three-legged dog with an internal rotation. So internal rotation means moving towards the center of your body. So for this one, left toes points to the floor, left inner thigh lifting up towards the ceiling. Now we exhale, draw the left knee into your chest, press your mat down, lifting the knee a little higher. Inhale, extend the left leg. Again, you're more than welcome to lower the right knee down, three-legged tabletop. Exhale, knee to chest, tiger. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Lower the left foot, stepping the left foot very lightly between the hands. Left knee stays above the left ankle. Pull the left hip crease back, right heel presses back and down. Lower the right knee first. Point the right toes if you wish, or curl it in. Your choice. Now, we come back up. Left knee above the left ankle. Action from the ground up. Left heel down and back, right knee down and forward, as if you're trying to meet them towards the center. Now, once you feel stable, sit bones draw in, pelvic floor lift, heart lifts, front ribs in, arms can extend up or in cactus. Inhale as you do this. Exhale, extend the front leg, flex the left foot, hands moves alongside the body, moving with your breath. Inhale, bend the left knee, arms reach up. Exhale, extend the left leg, hands moves alongside the body. One more, moving with mindful awareness of how you're supporting and holding yourself in between transitions. Exhale. Now, come back, left knee above the left ankle, arms reach up. Exhale, frame the left foot. Shift the weight above your right knee. Flex the left foot as you extend the left leg. So again, avoid locking that left knee joint. We want to leave a slide, bend in that. So we're stretching deeply into that left leg, and you're using the right muscles, not relying on the joints and bones to hold you in this pose. Breathe in. Exhale. Navel draws in. Heart moves towards the direction where the left toes is, so you're not just collapsing. You're moving it forward before you allow the head to fall. Half split. Now we press the hands down, we rebend the left knee above the left ankle, and here we curl the right foot, so the right leg goes just towards the left side of the long edge of your mat, and then come up. Right hip above the right knee, left hand goes on the left inner thigh, right arm reaches up, side body stretch first. So again, left hand against the knee to the hand, shoulders back and down. Inhale first. Lengthen through the side body. And exhale, slowly come down into that side body stretch. Pull the right shoulder towards the left side of the room, your heart lifting up to the ceiling. Neck is long, breathing deeply. And release. Option 1, stay there, obviously. Option 2, come back up. We're going to deepen this. Left leg extends forward, flex the left foot. Inhale, lift through the heart. Point the left toes towards the right side of the mat. Ground down through the outer edges of your left foot. So keep that grounded. Sit bones draw in. Right arm reaches up. Left hand by your left thigh. Pull the shoulders back. Inhale first. And exhale. Come into your gate pose. Again, first option, stay here. Second option, adding a little bit more fun. So come back up. Bring the elbows to bend out to the sides. Interlace the fingers just behind the head. Again, you're not pressing it against the head. Keep the neck long. Inhale here. And exhale, side plank. And then twist as more exhale releases from the body. So you're using the glutes, the legs, the core muscles. Exhale, side plank. Twist, exhaling. And inhale, come back. Last one. Side plank. Twist. Back. Release. Left toes will now point towards the ceiling. Bend the left knee. Frame your left foot with both hands. Curl the back foot. Be mindful as you transition. You don't have to jump right into the next pose. We want to support ourselves to get back there. So high lunge, right heel behind your right hip. Press it back and down. Hips stay square to the front of your mat. Left knee stays above the left ankle. Sit bones draw in, tone the core. Inhale, arms reaches up. Find the neutral spinal alignment. Front ribs draw in, lengthening through the spine, thoracic spine drawing in. Now we can bring the hands alongside the body. Keep that back leg active, okay? Don't forget about it. Knuckles move down and back, lifting through the heart space. Soften the face, the jaw. Inhale here. And humble warrior, torso. Left hip pulling back, heart moving forward. Knuckles move away from the hips. Breathing in and out. Release the hands, frame the left foot. Lift the hips just a little bit and we'll step your left foot back, either plank or three-legged Chaturanga. Inhale first and plank. Exhale, hug the elbows in and lower down. Point the toes open through the chest, upward facing dog. Broaden the collarbones, lift through the heart. Here in upward facing dog, it's the same action that we do on your cobra, but here with the hands pressing down, and we're lifting the sternum up, pulling the shoulders back. Breathe. And exhale, curl the toes in, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling slowly. Now we lower the knees, bring the elbows down, shoulder width distance apart, coming into your dolphin pose. So, measuring the space between the elbows, hands on opposite elbows, press it down firmly, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and bring the forearms parallel to each other. Spread the fingertips out wide and grip it down. Now we curl the toes in if it's not already. Float the knees, chest to thighs, just like downward dog, but this time with elbows bent. And again, if you notice that your hamstrings or your lower back are still tight, bending the knees and lifting the sit bones up and back will help you access the lungs more. Keeping that neutral spinal alignment as much as you can. And here, if you can gaze down, that will draw your thoracic spine in. Okay, so this is such a wonderful pose. I know it's quite challenging for some, But if you can do this every day or as much as you can when you practice yoga, this actually helps to strengthen the muscles that weakens when you're sitting a lot or working in front of the computer. Okay? So, yes, try this out. Breathe. One more breath. And then release. Knees down as wide as the mat. Child's pose, just like what we started. Pointed towards the back. Sit back down to your heels. Forehead rests on the ground. If your forehead doesn't reach the ground, don't worry. Bring the floor closer to you. So you can bring one hand over another. Rest your forehead there. Or make fists with your hands. And rest your forehead there. And come back to the breath. Now we come out, lift the head, press the hands down, lift the hips, turn the toes to one side and extend it forward. Bring the feet as wide as the mat, hips towards the front edge of your mat, toes out, heels in, hands just behind you, lifting through the heart space, lengthening through the spine as always. Inhale here. And exhale, drop your knees to one side as if you're coming into a twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Drop the knees to the left side. Inhale, back to center. And exhale here. This time, we drop the knees. Make 90 degree with your legs. Lift through the spine first. Inhale. Or rather, lift through the sternum, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, that's when we twist. Left hand crosses over the right thigh. Option 1, keep the right hand on your right inner thigh, pressing it down. Option 2, cross the left hand over the right thigh. Bring the chest to face the back of your mat. Inhale first. Option 1, pause here. Option 2, walk your hands away from the hips. Head falls. And here we rely on the posture, the gravity, and the breath to do the work for us. Stay where this is felt in the body physically. And then we release. We lift the head, press the hands down, walk the hands back to center or back towards your hips. Untwist with a long spine. And release. Knees to the left side. Lengthen through the torso. Right hand crosses over the left thigh. Inhale first, lengthen through the torso. And exhale, walk your hands away from the hips. Forearms down. Head can be just dangling, or you can place something underneath the forehead. Deep breaths. And then release. Head lifts. Lift the elbows. Walk your hands towards the torso, towards your hips, and then uncross. Bring the knees back to center. For a moment here, observe how you feel. And release. Now, we're going to extend your legs forward in front of you. Flexing your feet, use your hands to flesh out the flesh out of your sit bones. So even it out to the floor. Now here we're holding our spine long and tall using the core, not so much relying on the legs, okay? So again, not so much relying on the hands. So we want to use the core here to lengthen through the torso, front ribs go in, neck is long. Inhale first, flexing the feet, pressing the backs of your legs down. Option 2, if you're on the tight side like myself, bring the feet wider than your hips. That will give you more space to fold forward and also to protect your lower back. Bending the knees is ideal, okay? So once you're ready, inhale first, lengthen through the torso using the core. Keep the flexion on your feet, backs of your legs pressing down. Feel free to bend the knees once you feel that intense stretch on your legs. Grab a hold of your feet, ankles or shins. If your feet are wider, I prefer to place my hands on my inner arches, but that's my preference. What's yours? Inhale first, and exhale, deepen. Sternum moving away from the navel as you fold, head folds. And then release it. Again, you can stay longer if you wish. As you come out, bend the knees again, move your bum towards the front, lower back down, vertebra by vertebra, and as you lay down, walk your feet towards your hips till your middle finger can touch your heels, or at least the ankles rest underneath. Now, we press the hands down, press the elbows, shoulders, and feet down. We slowly lift the hips, place the hands underneath your sacrum, creating a diamond shape with your index finger and your thumbs, and then lower it back down. Okay? Now, you can choose to extend the legs forward and flex the feet or point it. Okay? This is your fish pose. Well, supported version. So we press the elbows down, lift the heart, allow the head to fall back. Breathe there. They said that this particular posture is kind of like having a shot of coffee without having an actual coffee. So it actually helps us to release anything that's stuck in the body, and also it supports the fluids, or that rather the lymphatic system, draining the fluids out of our system. And like the heart and the blood that gets pumped throughout the body, releasing stagnation and inertia naturally, sometimes the lymphatic system needs our extra support. So holding this pose while deepening the breath for a few rounds of breath can really support you greatly, especially after inversions. Now, after a few rounds, lift the head just a little bit, slowly and carefully. Relax your head back down, bend the knees, lift the hips, move the hands aside, and bring the feet as wide as the mat, knees bent still, and then sway the legs from side to side. So what we're doing in between or after some long-held poses, we want to do a gentle movement to release those activation that we were holding. So sometimes we hold on to that particular activation and the muscles, especially for those back bends, sometimes the pelvic floor, we hold it, or the lower back, and it's tense throughout the day. So we want to release that before we finish a practice. That way, the muscles don't get fatigued and weaken as we finish the practice, and we can feel restored and refreshed afterwards. Now, after a few rounds of that, come back to center, and you can finish in Savasana with your legs extended as wide as the mat, toes to fall to the side, relaxing your hip flexors, hands a few inches away from your hips with your palms facing up. Neck is long. You can lift the head and tuck your chin in and lower it back down to the floor. Bring your whole body in its almost neutral state. Now, if this is already causing you lower back pain or discomfort, feel free to bend the knees. You don't have to stay there. Bend the knees, bring your feet as wide as the mat, toes in, heels out, pigeon toes, knees melting together. Hands can be rested on your belly or, again, a few inches away from the hips with your palms facing up. Staying here for about 10 or more rounds of breath, however long you can, as you scan the body from head to fingers and toes and see wherever you're still holding some of those tension. Once you are ready to come out, you can bend the knees one at a time. Give yourself a well-deserved hug, honoring this body for all that it does for you, keeping you alive and well and present in this moment, doing things you like to do. Of course, with the lockdown involved, you can still do what do you like to do at home. Now you can drop your knees to one side, fetal position, observing how you feel. Take your time here. Any shift in your experience, mental, physical state. And help yourself to come back up into whatever sitting posture that feels right for you. Crossing your shins together. Finishing the practice together. Pressing your palms together. Heart, head meets in the center of your chest. Holding gratitude within your heart space for this time you've given to yourself to give back to this body, to this mind. And I invite you to hold gratitude within your heart for something you're most grateful for, towards yourself, towards your life. And I invite you to hopefully hold this gratitude towards your day and share it with everyone you meet in your life. Now, I thank all of you for joining me this morning. I hope you all have a lovely day, weekend ahead. Happy Easter. The letting me boss down to the letting you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Hope that was fun. Crazy hair after class.